the Wilt Chamberlain-esque in the fact that he changed the game for a big guy. There's been a lot of great guards, great wing players that handle the ball a lot. That's the way I view big men. Is they have to play such a different type of game because they rely on somebody else to give them the ball. You look at most other great players, they could go get the ball anytime they need them. They need it. But
so you're differentiating between big men and little guys.
Yes. Yeah.
Or wing guys.
Yeah. Anybody that can go get the ball and make 4 or 5 dribbles to create a play, hit a game-winning shot. The great big men, they have to wait for it. And Shaq changed the game, revolutionized the game in the modern era.
He certainly did.
In the modern era.
As dominant of an NBA player as outside of Jordan, right? Maybe as dominant as Jordan. Dominant.
Yeah.
Game changer.
Oh, yeah. There was parts in his career where he was unguardable. But I get what you're saying.
Cousins offensively, can't think of anyone who's more physically, as imposing as Cousins.
Well, who was it that said that Cousins? They asked him that question: "Is who's the toughest guy you went against in the season?" Do you remember who the name was he threw out
today?
Yeah, I should have researched that. I completely forgot the name too. I don't know who it was, but apparently there was someone out there that he figured was the most dominant person.
He said something about Garnett.
No, it wasn't him. That was when Rondo pushed him.
Okay.
Or he pushed Rondo. I don't remember how it went down. But
Amari Stoudemire?
No.
Okay.
Let's just go on.
Let's move forward.
Well, according to Joakim Noah, Kevin Garnett does not like the rookies and the Euros.
Yeah.
The rookies and the Euros get the treatment from Kevin Garnett.
Noah covered both those bases at once, considering I think his mom a European model.
Yeah, his father is
an African American tennis player, right?
Yeah, is he from the U.S. though? Yannick Noah?
I don't know.
He was a hell of a tennis player. He's got a very interesting background.
Is he tall?
Another story.
Moving right along, I didn't
Another
think
topic.
I didn't think necessarily that it was. I thought that it was very indicative of what Calipari is trying to do, which I don't think is wrong. I think it's within the rules. I think Calipari's program right now is he understands his recruiting pitch is you want to go to the pros the quickest you can, come to my program, and I'll make it my goal that happens no matter what, which is not a bad thing. It's good for the players, good for the league,
And what we've seen, it's good for the program. We're on the up and up. You come from a year from the NIT. No one knows about you. No one wants to come to Kentucky anymore. That's what people have to remember about what Calipari has done. Like, there will always be passion in Kentucky for basketball. But you have to think, you couldn't get anybody in the Gillespie era. Towards the end of, the Tubby Smith era, Gillespie era, you could not get anyone. You look at the recruits that Billy Gillespie was recruiting, look at where they're at now. They're at low Division 1s. Some of them are at Division 2s. Went to the NIT. That was the last straw. You have Calipari. He comes in, boom. Comes in with 5 first-round draft picks, Elite 8. Second year, top recruiting class. One of that recruiting class, all those kids will be drafted with the exception of Stacey Poole, all those kids will be drafted in the first round at some point in time. Final Four. The stepping stones are there. It's on the up and up with Calipari. So you can't diss his system right now.
I'm not dissing it. What I am saying is to suggest that he does not recruit one-and-done players specifically, he does not specifically find them, is inaccurate in my opinion.
He
specifically wants one-and-done guys.
Well, they're the top athletes. Who doesn't want them?
But I will.
It's not like actually growing the program, but I understand that. But at the same time, who doesn't want the top athletes to come out of that class? Why wouldn't Rick Pitino want those athletes?
Exactly. Everyone wants them, but
Dino doesn't want a team full of them like that. He doesn't want his entire roster to turn over each year.
No.
This is getting into a different topic, but I don't think he wants that. I don't think Pitino wants that. I think Calipari does. Not necessarily a bad thing. Got him to the Final Four, which all of us will admit is a crapshoot. Once you get there, you can win the title. He could win the title doing this. He's not going to build much continuity with the program. He's not going to build what Pitino built from 96, where they won it in 96. They made it to the championship game in 97, and then his team that he put together won it in 98 under Tubby Smith. That's not going to happen under Calipari. He's not going to build that. They may win it 1 year and then 6 years later win it again. It's a different thing.
Don't discredit Tubby's coaching job.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, I mean,
I think Tubby's a great coach.
But what I will say is what Calipari is shown me, and for the record, the media and the fans, we're the ones that have put the one and done label on Calipari. I have never heard once Calipari come out and say, I'm getting these kids for 1 year and am sending them off to the league, pushing them out the door. You know, with the Cousins situation, Calipari's motto is pretty much, if you're a guaranteed first rounder, go ahead and go. If somebody's
Daniel Orton.
Yeah, but Daniel Orton is technically not a Calipari recruit.
He had his mind made up whenever he was entering college. I think that he was going to go. Because everyone knew that he had the body for it. But he of course he only averaged 3 minutes a game or 3 points a game was what it was.
Something like that, yeah.
But I mean, I'll sit here and argue all day that Daniel Orton is not a Calipari guy. Daniel Orton.
Gillespie recruit him?
Yes, he committed to Gillespie.
Okay.
You know, he is not a Calipari guy. Daniel Orton, it was too late to go to Kansas, pretty much. He had already committed to Kentucky, and then Calipari comes in and brings this phenomenal recruiting class. John Wall, Eric Bledsoe, DeMarcus Cousins, you know, that automatically put them in the top 10. Why wouldn't you want to stay? Daniel Orton famously went on his Twitter and said he should have gone to Kansas after the season. You know, the kid wasn't going to class. I've heard numerous stories about Daniel Orton's father just being obnoxious. You know, he wasn't a Calipari guy. You know, he didn't get the same tutelage and know-how from Calipari that these other guys are getting. And I think with Cousins and Wall, what Calipari meant is not only are these first rounders, not only are these lottery picks, you're a guaranteed top 5 pick. You know, these guys should have, you know, we've already gone too far in college basketball to where we've already let high school kids go, and they've already gone and done amazing things. You already have a Kevin Garnett. You already have LeBron James. 2 guaranteed.
How many of those are there a year, though?
Hall of Fame. Probably 1.
Maybe
if one. You know, those are
Calipari,
exceptions.
okay.
You know, those are exceptions to the rule, but we've already opened Pandora's box with that. We've already shown that
Moses Malone opened it.
Yeah.
Not so much, but I mean.
Yeah.
Why didn't they catch on that?
Because college basketball wasn't what it was then as it is now. You know, Moses Malone was kind of in a position to where he had nothing else to do. You know, then you look at late 70s. You know, you look at the Bird and Magic game. They say that's what, you know, transcended college basketball, and it is what it is today. You know, that's what they say. You know, all the historians, they say that's what modernized college basketball, the Bird and Magic game. So then, past Moses Malone, Kevin Garnett does it again. He has nothing else to do.
Sean Kemp did it before him, didn't he?
Well, he actually
inadvertently.
But he came to Kentucky.
He did, yeah.
He was actually at Kentucky.
Intended to go play college ball. And then he swiped Sean Sutton's.
Yeah, he took Sean Sutton.
Sean Sutton didn't even care.
Yeah.
Didn't even care.
But he, you know, that just goes to show what kind of guy Sean Kemp is. He has like 16 illegitimate kids. But again, a different story. I'm not playing about that. I think it's like 16. Don't quote me on that, but I've definitely read that before. It's in the double digits. I know that for sure.
Moving right along, there's been a recent trend. Whether you're Mr. Basketball in the state of Kentucky, or if you're just Chris Lofton, you're one of the top guys in the state of Kentucky. As a senior in high school playing basketball, you sign with an SEC team, but it's not Kentucky. What do you think's behind that, Hank? Is it a lack of talent in the state?
I think, again, you can look at all those guys. Scott Hundley, Rick Jones, the Scott County pair, back-to-back, 99 and 2000. Ross Neltner in 94 or in 2004. Even though he won Mr. Basketball, Scotty Hobson going to Tennessee. With the exception of Scotty Hobson, none of those guys are
That good?
well, they're good. They're just not I just don't think they're the caliber of athlete that Kentucky goes after.
Yeah, I mean, take Elijah Justice, for instance. He was Mr. Basketball.
He's a great-looking kid.
And he went to Louisville, of course, as we all know. But he's not a star at Louisville. It's just that our stars in Kentucky are not the caliber of stars with 49 other states. They're just not. At this point, and within the last, 5 years or so, we definitely haven't had anybody come out that's been extreme out of Kentucky.
I thought Stephon Pettigrew was going to be pretty good. And he's been good.
Oh yeah, he just finished up this past season at WKU. Had a great career.
Great career, I think.
What you see is the way I look at Kentucky basketball is we lack the big time athletes. For whatever reason, even in the '80s when we were a hotbed, still the kids weren't the super athletic as you see in other states, but they can play the game. Smart-minded, great players, know the game, love the game, can play the game, but just aren't the super athletes. I mean,
why aren't they at least offered a spot on Kentucky's roster? I don't know.
Well, it's hard too.
Because you got so many bench guys when you got these guys coming. I don't know. I mean, it's tough for me to. I guess John Hood.
Again, he has that mold to that body though. I mean. You look at a Scott Hundley.
Darius Miller, too.
Yeah, Darius Miller, John Hood, they fit the bill when it comes to athleticism. 6'7", long. John Hood is athletic. He hasn't really shown it. I think he would show it a lot better at some other schools, but he's kind of hampered with playing with
DeMarcus Cousins talked about him today, didn't he, Matt?
Yeah, he did. And he
said he's real good.
Yeah, he
just needs some confidence.
He just needs a little bit of confidence. He seemed to think that John Hood had a lot of potential. But like Hank said, he's kind of stuck in his body, and that's kind of hard to do at his stature, in my opinion. For his position, he doesn't need to be real tall. He needs to shoot the lights out, but he needs confidence more than anything.
Yeah, and he needs to either he's just going to be a knockdown shooter that doesn't miss, or he's going to play by the same rules that everybody else plays. And I just don't think he puts the kind of ball pressure. And has the ability to guard. I think Calipari, I think the way that he coaches and teaches is if you're not scoring, you better be rebounding and you better be guarding. And John Hood doesn't really do a lot of those things really, really well. I think he could be decent at both, and at other programs that are taught differently, you can get away with that stuff. But at Kentucky, dribble drive, one-on-one, beat your man. It's about me against you all the time. John Hood struggles.
Moving right along here, we got to stop for a quick commercial break, and we'll be right back at you with KentuckySports.co radio show. Welcome to KentuckySports.co radio show. We're back and better than ever. Speaking of being better than ever, looks to me like we're going to have some great weather coming up. After having such horrible, rainy weather for the past couple weeks.
The wettest month in Kentucky's history for the month of April.
Yeah, and I hear that we're on pace to be the wettest year in the history of the state. Being that we're bound for some great weather, you got to get out, you got to enjoy the weather, and you got to play some good golf. Go to Champions Point in southern Indiana, and I'll tell you, the best way to do that is go to LouisvilleBigDeals.com. You can get half off on playing golf at a beautiful golf course in southern Indiana. Really enjoy the weather. You can also go to some great restaurants and get half off. LouisvilleBigDeals.com. It's a great site. Check it out. You can get some real great deals and save some money and do some things that you really enjoy. Moving right along, we got some different stuff here.
Yeah, at the break we were talking about how